My name is Jamali Sani and I welcome you to this episode of the Ideation Corner. The Ideation Corner is a space where ideas are discussed and dissected. And today I host Nekesa Mercy, who is the founder of Raining Vegetables, and she's going to tell us all about it. Mercy, you're very welcome.
Thank you so much.
Tell me about Raining Vegetables.
Thank you so much for having me. So, Raining Vegetables is a farm management software. So what we really do is we help farmers keep records. And our goal is really, we want to help farmers understand how much money are you making, how much yield do you have in your garden, how much can you get out of your farm, how much can you project. And so the idea is if farmers are able to understand, one, their finances and their productivity, then we're able to see, can farmers actually make more money? Can we transition them from subsistence to commercial farmers? If they're already doing commercial farming, how much more money can they make? And so Raining Vegetables...
Oh, wait, just to be clear, Raining Vegetables is not just about vegetables.
No, it's not. That's right. It's not just about vegetables. So Raining Vegetables is the name of the company, but Raining Vegetables is a platform for all farmers. We intend to serve animal farmers, crop farmers under our umbrella.
Okay.
Yeah.
Any farmer.
Any farmer that wants to do farming on a commercial basis so that they can make money out of it.
Okay. So if I'm a farmer right now, what would you do for me?
So if you're a farmer right now, for example, a coffee farmer, because those are our first farmers that we supported. So one, we will help you track your finances. And when I say finances, I mean like your expenses, your revenue. And then we also help you understand what those metrics mean. So usually people keep records in books. They track how much money they spent, they track how much they sold and how much money they made from that. And so that whole process of calculation is solved for you on the app. So what you do is you just tell us by answering a few questions that we ask you. You tell us what you spent on, when you spent it, and then also you can tell us how much money you made. And then we'll be able to tell you, one, are you making profit? Okay. Are you making a loss? Are you breaking even in this current time in your business? Okay. So that's one of the financial metrics that we do for farmers. We also do expense breakdown. So for example, you've been spending in your garden for the past 3 months. So one of the things we help you understand is, what was your highest expenditure? Was it on inputs in terms of like feeds? Was it on labor? And so we break down those metrics so that you as a farmer, you understand the details of your money. Because once you do that, you make better decisions for your farm.
Okay. So if I'm a coffee farmer currently, I already have my books where I write things. For me to be able to use your app, I just go on the app store and download it?
So you do not need to go to the app store. What you do you can actually first Google search Raining Vegetables.
Raining Vegetables.
Yes.
Okay.
Just the word Raining Vegetables, and then you will see a link that will take you to the website. Okay. So it's a web application.
Oh,
so
that's
you
fantastic.
can, yeah. So you can,
those apps.
Yeah, you don't have.
Your phone.
I know, right? We help you with that. You don't have to do any of that. Okay. You don't have to download. You don't have to. It's accessible on any device, anywhere, at any time, as long as you have internet connection. Okay. You can just go Google search Raining Vegetables, go to the app link, or you can go to rainingvegetables.com and you will still be, and you will still be able to access the app.
Okay, so now when I go there, I register as Jamali Sali, fan of the Ideation Corner.
You could. I mean, Ideation Corner could have a farm. Yay, customer. So when you go to rainingvegetables.com, you will see an instruction to get started. And once you choose to get started, you create an account. When you create an account, you enter your information, just personal information like your name, your phone number, just so we're able to have a personal account tailored to you. And then you choose your farming sector. And so actually, it walks you through all the steps. It's very intuitive. It's very easy to use. So once you create an account, you will then be able to pay for your subscription and then set up your farm.
So there is a subscription?
There is a subscription.
Okay, how much is the subscription?
Only 30,000 shillings per month.
Per month?
Only 30,000 shillings per month.
Okay.
Yes.
And then what do I get?
And so you get access to your financial tracking and also productivity. And the productivity part is...
The financial tracking.
Yes.
You're saying, okay, I'm currently a farmer, I have my books, and I go to your website or type in rainingvegetables.com, I register, and then I immediately I can access okay, pay my subscription, immediately I can access this module.
Yes.
This financial module.
Yes.
And then I enter the information. I enter the information myself.
You enter the information yourself because you know what you're spending on. Right. So literally think of it as if you had to go to the farm and do your activities and then come back home and record in a book. Whatever you were recording in a book, just come back and put it in the app. This becomes the book.
Okay.
The best part is now you don't have to do calculations. We do all that stuff and it looks nicer.
Okay. But can I get a report?
You could, yes.
Okay.
Yes, we do have reports. So we do generate reports. Actually, they're timely. They're as current as your last record.
Okay.
So you don't even have to wait for like end of week or end of month. No, you can generate your report immediately for your farm if you're tracking finances.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now, you say you also had a productivity
Yes.
module. What does it do?
So productivity is geared towards understanding your farming practices and how those translate into final yield and harvest. So for example, coffee farmers. If you're planting coffee, and so we ask you a number of questions to understand what your process was like. And so for example, if you say, we have one of the questions is one, did you water the ground before you planted coffee? If the answer is no, meaning you did not irrigate. The other question would be, did you receive rainfall in the past 3 days? If the answer is no for both, and yet you still say you planted coffee, that's a flag on our part. We flag you and say, hey, coffee is supposed to be planted on wet ground, not dry ground. And so we would advise you to modify that farming method, right? And so in this case, we're arresting problems in a timely manner versus you planting anyway on semi-dry ground and then like 2 months later you see nothing. That's a lot of time and money wasted, while here we're helping you in real time increase your productivity. Even like with pests and diseases, we're able to track that, so it helps you understand and also have an analysis of your farming practices. A lot of farmers work with agronomists, and so they can take these records to an agronomist and say, listen, this is what I did this first season. On this day, at this time, this is it. Do we course correct? This is what you need to advise me on in terms of like, this is what I've done, where am I going wrong? And so it's going to really, really help farmers understand their farming practices and also get better help.
From the agronomists?
Agronomists, for example, even us, because we do have some level of advice that we give based on known standard farming methods.
Okay. So currently you're looking at all farming, including livestock farming. You know, if I'm in piggery, I could get onto your app.
Okay.
Or to get the services.
Eventually.
In terms of eventually, so particularly for livestock in terms of like piggery, poultry, cows, dairy, most of those are going to come in the near future. Right now, what we're actively supporting is crops. So for example, we have coffee, eggplants, potatoes.
There's a list. When you go to the app, you will see it. You will see the list. I can get everything off my head, but yes, we do support mostly crops right now.
Okay, so tell me, how many farmers do you have on the app?
So right now we have 100 registered
farmers since our launch, which was like in April around there. That's when we started registering farmers. So in the past 2 months, we've hit about 100 registered farmers.
And are they in any particular geographical location, or is it nationwide?
So currently, it's interesting. The app is accessible anywhere for any person.
Anywhere in the world?
Anywhere in the world, yeah.
Oh, okay.
For sure.
It's a web app?
It's a web app, yeah.
Okay.
So anyone in the world can access it. But right now we're serving...
Wait, so if I'm a farmer in South Sudan, I could actually use your services?
I mean, you could technically use our services if you could
pay.
Your subscription fee?
Yeah.
That's it?
Yeah.
Okay, that's great.
Yeah.
Okay.
going strong, yeah. Worldwide, we're coming. But right now we started with Mbale as a region just because I partly live there. And so it was much easier to launch and then also get farmers around the community to start using it. But over the recent months, we've had an uptake in terms of like people from different regions in Uganda have actually signed up, used the registered and started using it for their own record keeping.
So there's 100 people who've registered, they paid your 30K subscription?
So some have. So we do have a trial period, right? So
you have a free trial?
yeah, we do have a free trial period where like you can sign up, test it out, and then if you like it, you pay for it. So yes, some have paid for it, and then some just keep trickling in. Yeah, are still in the trial.
Yeah. Did you have that option where, because sometimes I do that, I go for the free trial, then when the free trial ends, I start again. I do another free trial.
Oh no, you won't do that. Yeah. We fixed that for you. You only have one free trial. Yeah, for the likes of you. We only have one free trial. And just so like for example, you said as a farmer in South Sudan able to use the app. So technically they could, but right now our payments are through mobile money with the telecom companies in Uganda. So that would be the only barrier.
Okay.
But we're coming.
Pay by PayPal. Could they not?
So we do want to enable that in the future.
Okay.
For the start, we wanted to lock it just for our market. Yeah. And then, but we're coming.
Okay.
We're gonna grow. We're coming. Yeah.
So in Bali, you're looking at the farmers mostly, but well, when we were speaking earlier, you had mentioned that you also have the agribusiness.
Yes. So in Bali, okay. So what was really interesting that happened was I was starting to work with farmers in Bali, and I was trying to recruit them to use the software and try to get our services out. And one of the things that I saw was there was an uptake with agribusinesses. So agribusinesses are not necessarily people who are growing food. They're not farming, but they're part of the value chain. So what they do is either they can offtake from farmers. So for example, they will buy coffee beans from farmers and then do a value addition. Actually, they're cherries. They buy the cherries from the farmers. Yeah, coffee farmers. Yeah, they buy the cherries from the farmers and they do the value addition of the parchment and then do all these nice things, packaging, and then sell them to a retailer or a final consumer. And so that value chain is agribusiness. So it's not necessarily farming, right? But they're still in the agribusiness value chain. And so those are the
Those what do you help them with?
Financial record keeping.
Okay.
Yes. So we actually have transitioned it into an accounting software, which we now also serve not just farmers, but general business.
I was just about to say that any SME
Exactly.
could
Yes.
use the financial management.
Yes, 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 100%. Any small business can, or general business.
Yeah.
Or big, excuse us.
The big ones want their own systems.
No. So we can also customize them for them because now we're trying to help businesses manage their finances, manage their accounting, manage their operations internally in terms of like the metrics from a financial standpoint, but also the metrics from a productivity standpoint. So yes, businesses are able to, that are not necessarily farmers, are also able to get accounting software services with us.
So if I'm not a farmer, I'm not even part of the value chains, the farming value chains, and I have my small business there, but I don't have an accounting system. I could subscribe again, my 30K subscribe.
100%. Yes.
And
Yes.
then
Yes.
access
Yes. And then access everything. You'll be able to access one, the record keeping for your expenses, the record keeping for your revenue, and so that in fact we're also going to have inventory so that you're able to upload your inventory on the app, so you're able to track what's being sold and what's remaining. We're also going to do invoices. So there are very many interesting things that are coming in store for the small businesses. General businesses general businesses that are interested in doing accounting, but they're not necessarily farmers.
Yes. Okay, that's good. And so far, because I know that you got that farming, the people also at the farm are usually women. Women are very much involved in agriculture. What does your data show you at the moment in terms of gender?
In terms of gender, so this is going to be really interesting. But most of the men sign up.
Oh, you have more men signing up.
We have more men signing up than yeah.
Which is really interesting because once we started looking into it, so a lot of the men are, I don't want to say proactive because women are proactive too.
On the farm.
On the farm,
Yes.
right. But a lot of the men now who come, who have communicated and get in touch with us are like, I want to understand the money. I want to understand the expenses.
Yes.
I want to understand how much I'm making, right? And so for them, they're more like,
The money base.
the money base really, and the money is a pool for them, right? And so it's been our experience, especially just our sample database right now, a lot of them are men.
So when you're doing you're trying to get people onto your app, telling them about it or onto the system. Are you specifically ensuring that the women know about it?
That's a good question. And so in the beginning, it was more like we're talking to farmers, right? And whichever farmer came, we were addressing that. But I think as time has gone on, there has been a very keen interest on my part to actually support women businesses who are in farming so that we can transition them. One of the things that we observed doing research in the field was a lot of women were growing food and actively farming to take care and feed their families.
Okay, they're farming for consumption.
For consumption. Okay. A lot of them are farming for consumption.
And for them, that was like a basic need that had to be met, that they were taking care of their families. And so one of the things, which actually was also part of the incentive that I started raining vegetables, was, is there a way that we can transition farmers from subsistence to commercial? Is there a way we can increase levels of income in homes if we can help them understand the money and the economics of farming? And so now it's been a very keen interest of mine to actually start specializing in focusing on women farmers. How do we work with them, work with their use cases to help them on board and also understand their money so that they're commercially farming.
Because the person, the lady who's growing for her kids to have food, she could do that as she also grows a little for the market.
Yes.
Because she's already farming anyway.
Yes, 100%.
So it would be good to get them to also then be involved in the
yes.
money.
In fact, there's a women-focused bank that we're interested in working with, just to partner with them because they do support particularly women farmers. And that's also one of our interests right now, is if we can work with them to support these women farmers, because they do give them access to resources in terms of financing. So that's also actually a major interest area, is if we can support women organizations, like women-focused organizations like this, to help them make money from farming.
Okay. So how long have you been in the phase of marketing this?
Since March 2022.
Oh, you're very new.
We're very new.
I'm shocked you already have 100.
Thank you. So honestly, it's been also shocking for me, just because for a new product. Honestly, for a new product. Okay, I have a really interesting story to tell you about this. So I had so Writing Vegetables was the app for farmers, right? And then it still is. And then I had a friend who was doing their own business, and they saw it and they were like, "Oh, I want to do this for my business. But I'm not a farmer, but I want to do this just for my small business." And I said, okay, I mean, you can use Writing Vegetables. You just put in your business data. And they said, no, I want for my business. I don't want to be part of the farmers because I'm not, So I said, okay. I went and changed just literally the colors, redesigned the colors and gave them the same platform. Green. Yeah, they didn't want green, they wanted pink. I redesigned the platform, just changing the colors. The uptake was so good. Like literally, I made it, I redesigned it, we put it on a different portal. They paid. The next day, I was like, let me test this out. Same product. I was like, let me just test this out. Oh my gosh. They took it. Like we had more signups coming in from non-farmers, and I was like, this is a new product. This is great. I mean, I just launched. I haven't even done too much marketing yet. But I think the reception from people when they see the product is very encouraging. It makes me feel like we're actually onto something in terms of solving our own problems to help businesses make more money for themselves. Any business that really wants to make money and keeps records. But it's also very exciting in terms of like, wow, you just launched, but you do have some level of traction that is very positive.
It means you're solving a problem. But then what does this also mean for first of all, Raining Vegetables, which is not only about vegetables, it's about farming. But now, okay, it's not about just farming. In the way the product you're providing is not just about farming.
Right.
You're providing a solution to, farming productivity in farming, actually productivity generally in business, and then financial management generally in business. So what is, how are we going to continue being Raining Vegetables?
No, so raining vegetables actually does that. So raining vegetables is that's a golden child. That's a birthplace. It doesn't stop. It doesn't stop just because that's a backbone. And like farming is a business, right? And so as long as we're supporting businesses, raining vegetables will forever exist because farming is actually our. So for example, in Uganda, about 70% of the population is employed in some form of agricultural sector. So like we're not going anywhere. We have to serve that market so that we're able to see good levels of progress.
Okay. Speaking of which, we also are a very young population. We have a lot of youth around involved in agriculture. How are you? Or are you thinking of also getting the youth in? Because usually, first of all, we don't see people like you in agriculture. Usually, when you're looking at farmers, the farmers they show us are not, young, youthful people. Right. So, what do you think that needs to be done to not change the face, just widen, diversify the face of farming in Uganda?
I think a lot of it is sensitization and mindset, and I think many people turn away from farming because they're like, farmers are poor.
Yeah,
that's just the mindset.
You can't drive the car when you're farming.
Right, like that fancy car was not bought in farming, was it? Though some people are making money in farming, lucrative. So I think first of all, what needs to happen, and really that's why I really love raining vegetables, and I'm really for its production and like expansion, is because we're going to help farmers or anyone who gets into the farming business understand how to make money. And if you can, important. And that's important.
Because that's why people don't get into farming. They think
because you can't make, exactly. Yeah. And also the other thing is people who get into it lose money.
Yes.
And so they're discouraged from continuing. And that and that shouldn't be the case. Like, come home, raining vegetables. But most importantly, once we start changing the face of farming from a perspective of, no, farmers can be employed, farmers can have consistent revenue, farmers can have consistent production and access to markets, then we're going to see more people come in. Really, if you think about it, most people just want to make money.
Of course.
Most people want to make money. Yeah, and have a sustainable life for themselves. And so a lot of times we've been sold the idea that corporate jobs are the destination. By the way, continuing your corporate job, that's really fine. But because we've been sold that, a lot of people aspire to it. And now when we need to resell farming. We need to change. You can make money out of farming. And you know what's interesting about farming is that when you're making money from farming, people around you are going to see.
Yeah.
It's not even like you're going to hide it.
Just talk about it.
Yeah. They'll be like, oh, you're a lawyer. You make what? Let's say 5M a month on a stretch. Like you make 5M a month. That 5M is not buying that Bentley. Let's say. Like, what's your side hustle? I'm a coffee farmer. Oh, really? Let's get into this. And so, like...
And there are many corporates who, they do their 9 to 5. Yeah. And then they have a side hustle, which is always usually farming, by the way.
Yeah.
But they usually also don't think they're making money out of the farming.
Right.
So your app would help.
Yes, 100% our app would help. In fact, one of the things that we really want to grow into is helping them also understand metrics before you even start farming. Like, what's your budget? What's the best sector for you to invest in? Because those are things that are usually underestimated. Yes. Like, the right investment also does play a role in how much money you make. Like, one of the things that I really heard when I had started interacting with farmers is, my friend, he started growing rice. That guy is making 5M per week. Money, I'm gonna start growing rice. Yeah, in fact, I've opened some land there in Nakaseke, and I have to rice.
But guess what? Now your friend spent 10M
to make the 5M.
Right? But you don't know that because you're not even asking those questions.
You're find the 5M.
Yeah, you only find the 5M when you have 2M, and you're going to open land, right? And so you're like, you go invest your 2M. What's happening to you losing it? You might as well just have bought food at that point because you will benefit. But at this point, if you're going to invest the 2M in something that's going to fail because it's not enough, that wrong investment is actually what's hurting us in terms of like growing into the farming sector profitably.
And then the myth that farming is not profitable.
Right.
Because people just put money in it.
It's exactly the wrong investments. Wrong investments, poor farming methods, and so all those are issues that we do want to tackle as raining vegetables in terms of like solving them so that people can actually start to say farming is a safe bet as an investment. and we can make money.
Okay. Are you also thinking about having a what is it called? Like a marketplace? There are many farmers say, okay, you don't even need to be a farmer, but say, then you get that the mangoes just grow at a certain time. Like everybody has mangoes. But because everybody has mangoes, then the price of mangoes just goes down. So there was a time I was there and people were the mangoes were rotting in the trees. Yeah, because why bring them down? You have nowhere to sell them. And there was a person with a compound full of mango trees and they were just rotting. So those kinds of people, how do you think your app can help?
That's a loaded question. Oh, Jesus.
We need to think.
We need to think.
These are the problems.
These are the problems. And I think the market problem has been attempted to be solved so many times in so many ways. And I think as Raining Vegetables, we do want to solve that problem, but we're very cautious about how we want to solve that problem. So it's too early to say on what our execution is going to be in terms of finding market for farmers or providing a marketplace for farmers. But I will say it's one of our top priorities in terms of like, once we understand how our solution will be effective, we're going to hit the market. Yeah. So for now, we don't have a solution yet for marketplace, but we're coming.
Okay.
Yes.
That's good. I'm glad that you're working on it.
Thank you. Thank you.
And also, there are very few women in your space, so I'm glad to see a young female doing tech in agriculture.
Thank you.
So
thank you.
I want to encourage you.
Join us. Join in. Yes.
So I'm looking forward to the day when you're in Bale, you're in Golo, you're in Nakapilipiti,
me too.
I don't know where Nakapilipiti is, but it's a fancy name.
I've heard of it.
Me too. That's what I keep saying.
I've heard of it. Yeah.
But I haven't been there.
It's somewhere. We can find it. We can get there.
So anyway, we are almost out of time. Aww. What are the key things you would like the audience to take away?
Key things.
Yes.
One, we do help you farmers. So please come check us out. We are very much interested in understanding your problems also. So in case you're like, oh, Mercy, your app does this, but I would prefer or like it if it did this and this and this, we're open to feedback. Please send us an email, send us a message. You can go check out our app at raininvegetables.com. And also, if you're a business owner and you want to do some accounting and you are tired of paying accountants, sometimes you can do some of this record keeping yourself. Please come and check us out also.
There you had it, ladies and gentlemen. Please check out Raining Vegetables if you're a business or farmer and find out the services that they offer. Also, if you're an accountant, maybe you need their services too. I'm an accountant.
Oh, really?
Yes, I am an accountant.
This is a closing. This is the close. You should have led with that.
But thank you so much.